What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are having a great morning. It is currently a few minutes past 2 a.m. I am on my second break from work, and so I wanted to go ahead and film this video while I had a chance and while it was like fresh on my mind. So today's video is going to be about receipts versus recipes and giving confirmation to your client on spiritual work. So I actually had come across a Facebook post the other day. I'm not gonna like read it to you verbatim because A, I didn't save it, and B, it's not that important. But basically the gist of the post was that this person had been doing some spiritual work for someone, and the client had requested some type of proof that the work had been done or been completed. So naturally, like, the spiritual traditions that this practitioner was involved in is very secretive, and we're speaking here about Palo Mayombe. If you know anything about Palo, you know that the secrets of the house are definitely heavily guarded. And 9 times out of 10, there's a ticket for breaking certain vows of secrecy that you have with the spirits that you were scratched on. So let me just roll up the window a little bit. Okay, hopefully that can kind of cancel out some of the noise. It is so hot. I am so hot. Oh my god. I was like going all last period. Anyways, so basically, like, this person was saying, like, I'm not sending you any like confirmation because I can't send you any confirmation without exposing like secrets. Okay. And basically they were like, you know, if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else and da-da-da-da-da. Which I totally understand. Everyone has their own prerogative. Everyone has their own manner by which they operate within their spiritual traditions. And I totally understand that. And something that one person is comfortable sharing, someone else may not be comfortable sharing. And that's up to the discernment of the practitioner. However, I kind of side more with the client in this particular regard because, okay, we know in this day and age that it's very easy for people to go online and pretend to be something that they are not. What I'm talking about here is self-initiated people that may have had a spiritual teacher but are not in contact with them anymore, or they do not have representation, or just a plethora of things. Now, that doesn't mean that person can't do spiritual work for you, but it does mean that person may not be able to do spiritual work for you in the path that they are advertising that they're doing the work in. So now, I'm not saying, from start to finish, like, record everything and, like, every mambo and every firma and, like, everything. Like, no, obviously, no. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make spiritual sense, especially if that person is not initiated. However, in my mind, there is a very, very big difference between giving someone a receipt and giving them a recipe. Okay, so what I mean by a receipt is just a validation that the work has been done in the manner that was prescribed, and it's an olive branch to transparency, if you will. And I do think, as a spiritual practitioner, if you are so like cut and dry, like, I am not gonna send you anything that I may expose any secrets, I totally understand. But you have to be very, very, very upfront with that person about what they're expecting in terms of a confirmation of the work being completed, and what you're willing to give. And if that person's like, okay, well, if you can't even send me a picture of something so that I can get an idea that the work has been completed, then like maybe you shouldn't, go to that person, and maybe, vice versa. You should just, it wasn't a good connection. And that happens all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's a little bit of a disservice to people that are trying to get into these traditions when, on the one hand, we tell them like, oh, you have to be vigilant about who does work for you. You have to be vigilant about who touches your head. You have to be vigilant about your godparent, right? And that is a really great rule across the board in all of these spiritual paths. On the other hand, I feel like, not giving that person anything is not necessarily fair, because as a client, as someone who has paid you for a service, for spiritual work, who, is relying on you in your good faith to do the work in the manner that you prescribed to them that you were going to do, I think it's perfectly reasonable for that person to ask for a receipt. Okay? Now, obviously, I'm not talking about like an itemized receipt, but I'm saying like just something, if you're doing like a blockbuster candle spell and you're doing something with the energy to like break up negativity around that person. Okay, so maybe you don't send them how you work the candle, but maybe you just send them a picture of the candle burning, or the candle completely burned out, or the end result. Or if, if you can't do that, maybe you cover up the things that are secret and you just give them something for peace of mind. Again, I think it's completely reasonable that this person wanted some type of confirmation from this spiritual worker. And I think that's perfectly okay to ask for those things, especially in this day and age when people are very quick to put up a front when it comes to social media, when it comes to what, they portray themselves to be to everyone else. So, this is my opinion. No spiritual worker has to jump on this as if it's the law. I'm not preaching the law. I'm not a judge. I don't have the definitive encyclopedia on these traditions, as I'm sure none of you would expect me to. With that being said, spiritual work, I feel, is an intersection of some pretty interesting, emotional, psychological, obviously spiritual things for the person. And I can understand completely why that person wanted some type of validation for their work. If I send you money and we're going to do this thing, I want to know the day that you start. I want to know how many days it's going to take to complete. I want to know the day that it's done. And if it's completed, I would like a confirmation of some type. Mind you, I don't really go to people. I don't want to say I don't pay people for spiritual work, because I do, but that's my godparents. Those are my mentors. And that is the ashidi that's put to them and all of those other different things. I'm not really one that, goes and requests, spiritual work if it's not from the hands of my godfather, and if it's not from my own hands. You probably won't catch me ordering spiritual work. So this video is definitely for you guys, that maybe are just starting to work with clients, or just starting to kind of venture out into spiritual work and having spiritual work done for yourself. Just be patient and be very, very clear about what you would like, not as a result, but as a validation of the work. All of those things really need to be ironed out before money is ever sent from one person to another person. Okay? So we need to be having those conversations with our clients. We need to be having those conversations with your spiritual worker. And all of every party should be in agreement before any money is sent for any work. Because once that money is sent, many people have like no refund policies. And it's just not fair if you said like this, and this person was expecting like this, and they never got that, and they're unhappy with it. You know, I mean, okay, they kind of have grounds there to be a little unhappy. That makes sense to me. A key point and a golden rule that I try and practice, that I try and live by, is transparency. If I do divination for you and we mark this, and this, you will know that I am starting work on this, and once this is done, you will know, and once this is done, you will know, and once this is done, you will know. And that will either be via telephone call during the work itself. That may be a picture that is, a telephone call at the beginning of the work to like just let you know, hey, I'm starting your work, you know, and afterwards, like, hey, I completed your work. This is what came to me. These are like messages from spirit that you need to be aware of. You know, this is a picture of the work once it was finished, or a small video or something of that nature. That's not unreasonable, people. It's not unreasonable. And if you, as a practitioner, cannot give a receipt to your client without exposing your secrets, there's a problem there. There's a problem there. There has to be a middle ground. There has to be a middle ground. And all of these things, because what we're dealing with is the energy of not only the practitioner, but also of the client coming together to bring about a solution, to effectuate a change in that person's life. So that is all I want to say that I had on this topic. Again, this is not a situation that happened to me personally. This was something that I had seen on social media that I thought was pretty interesting, pretty thought-provoking. That it definitely incites some food for thought, you know? So I hope that you found this interesting, entertaining, thought-provoking, anything of that manner in that zip code I will take. I will be happy with. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give my own opinion on this, you know, and maybe put forth some positive energy that will bring about some better communication and more open communication between spiritual workers and their clients. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm definitely working on getting some more content out in a more consistent manner. And I'm really trying to bring just a different voice to some of these topics. That's really my goal with all of this stuff. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Many blessings on this now Friday morning. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. If you are currently asleep as this video is being filmed, I hope you're having excellent dreams and you're getting that rest that you need and deserve. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Do not hesitate to ask. And I hope that this message finds you well wherever you are.